to the Indie Wrestling Guy with your hosts, the Hall of Fame referee, JHawk, the not-so-mysterious benefactor, JGold, and the legendary Charly Butters.
The biggest boy I've ever seen.
What's that?
Of Dalton's Boys was Derek.
There was so much baby oil and Tanner. It was like a Diddy party in that.
Wow.
Oh, I was so happy for him, though. It was fantastic.
Throwing the Diddy party reference 30 seconds into the show.
Diddy Party Derek? Is that what it was?
DPD. It's me. Oh, that was so good, though. I can't even tell you how exciting that, just to see that it was just fantastic.
I'm glad Ricochet kicked him in the face.
They're like, Derek, listen, you have to shave your whole body for this one, and you're really gonna have to. You need to go into the tanning booth or get that spray, and then here's 6 gallons of baby oil. Now get out there, kid. Oh, so good. He took that kick too really well.
Poor Katie had to shave him.
Right. He did take the kick well. He did, and the other guys were unremarkable. I think Derek really sold it too. Like, he was just so much better than you could just tell.
One
he was
of them
the
was
best
Josh
boy.
Crane as well. So,
oh, probably. I think you're right. I think I recognize the face. But yeah, I like that they did that. I completely forgot that show was coming from Ohio to begin with. And they hit it out of the park. That's good stuff.
Yeah, my buddy that listens to the show went and was sending me photos, and he's just like, dude, he's like, look at this.
Somebody on the AIW Discord was sending them the whole night too. They were like, who is that I see? And they were asking questions. So that was definitely a good moment for Derek. I know he's been wanting to do a lot more at AIW and at AEW and at ROH too. So I'm glad for him. And then you get Derek on ROH, and then you get Broner cutting across to the East Coast and beating everybody up at the ETU show on Sunday.
Yeah.
So you had an Ohio car coming in. You had Big Sam, you had Josh Bishop, you had Broner, you had Shimbashi. That had to be nuts. That's all that beef in that car.
So that just is proof that Struggles is a size queen with all the people that he's brought in so far.
Big meaty men. I watched that.
He likes some big meaty men. That's why he didn't want Mikey, because Mikey's not a big meaty man. He's a twink.
He certainly isn't. Yeah, he is. He's a bit of a twink. But I watched that video again, that podcast of the New Day. There might not be anything funnier. There's nobody ever who can explain their fandom better than Big E in that moment. Like, it was the perfect moment. Can't help it. Now you can't watch any wrestling without using that too. He put it right in the lexicon. That's it. So yeah. But it was a good weekend for wrestling for everybody, whoever got a chance to watch it, because ETU, I did watch it back on IWTV, and ETU was a lot of fun. So if we're going to do a review, we'll save that. But it was definitely a good card, and the pacing was good, and it was fun to watch if I didn't get delayed. But,
Yeah, we'll probably cover it next week. I'm trying to sit and figure out what the final episode's going to be for the year, if it's going to be the Hogs or when that's going to take place. So I'm trying to figure it out and try to figure out when I'm going to have to get everything together to do the voting for that, which I think is going to have to start either this week or next week. So It's getting close. So
yeah, definitely. It definitely needs to start getting going. I think if we're going to do that.
Usually I was prepared the last 2 years for it. This year I'm not as prepared. So,
well, I don't even think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we were even considering the Hogs for a little bit. I think we were thinking of closing out and then rebooting next year, and instead now we got the Hogs, so that's good.
Yeah, it was. It was because we weren't going to be able to afford the awards this year, but I think we're going to be able to afford them now. It's just a matter of it'll be a little bit late. So
yeah, we'll be able to. We're all working. We're doing our thing. We'll be able to. I think that'll be fun.
So yeah, so we'll get that. Speaking of awards and stuff, though, we had the women's PWI 250 tournament go out on Twitter, and we have some results. So Miyu Yamashita had 60% of the vote. Out of JHawk, Shayna Baszler had like 41 or 42% of the vote. And then JGold, you almost had a 3-way tie, but Zeta Steel pulled it out by like 1%.
Over Lena Cross?
Over the other people that were in it, because you could only do 4 at a time. So then we had to do 2 more. So you actually, Janai Kai ended up winning as well in a bracket. So you have Zeta Steel and Janai Kai. I have Miyu Yamashita and Johnny Robbie, and then JHawk has Shayna Baszler.
Oh, JHawk.
So what we're going to do is Yamashita, Baszler, and Steel will be in one, and then Johnny Robbie and Janai Kai will be in another, and then that'll give us our 2 finalists.
So we got a triple threat in one match.
Yes.
And then the other match we're going to do what should we even put that one in? Just a singles?
Yeah,
30-minute time limit? Okay.
Singles vote. So that'll go out Thursday. We'll have those. You can vote on that. And then next week we'll get to the next thing. It's kind of like rushing into having to vote for another thing on top of another thing, but that's what it's going to be like. So, oh well.
God forbid we make the fans push a button more than once.
Hey, I mean, it's hard to get 10 of them to press a button. So
right.
I'm shocked.
In fairness, if you're not paying Elon Musk, it's hard to get 10 people to do your fucking tweet.
I know. I don't know where everything goes. Like I had all of the IW guide posts on my timeline, and then I cannot find them after that. Like it makes no sense to me. I don't know. That whole thing, everything about social media blows, but we need it to promote, and we need it for other things. So anyway, what else, Butters? What else we got?
That's all I got. I started off with my 2 things.
Well, I didn't have anything going on. I wish I did. My kid went away for the weekend, and then because she got home so late, messed up my ETU plans. But I thought ETU was fun. I'll say it again. I can't wait to review it. There was some really good talent in that show. And then today, back to work for us. So that was about it. Not too much that we got a chance to. Oh, and I'm still waiting on the fucking paint pen that is. Hold on, while you're here, Butters. I'm going to tell you where it is because I don't even know where it's coming from. It's supposed to be here tomorrow. It just says shipped, and then it came from, and I don't even know where this paint pen. All of a sudden, this paint pen doesn't get here. It doesn't make sense.
In later news, I actually did do something this weekend. My son and I went to see Monty Python Spamalot up in Cleveland.
Oh, nice!
Very nice show. He enjoyed it quite a bit. It's basically the musical version of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. They got some stuff added, and they got some stuff that was in the movie that's not in the play. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was hilarious and well performed, well acted. Yeah, had a good time. No,
it is a staple over here. Whenever it comes out, everybody goes to see it. They do it at like the colleges and all sorts of stuff. They always seem to, that Spamalot seems to be out. Oh, and they did it at my daughter's friend's camp. She goes to a theater camp, and she did it last summer in theater camp. And she's only 10, so go figure.
Yeah, look at the actual touring company. I guess this was their first stop of the tour too. The week in Cleveland. So
that's cool.
So they got like 29. They got like 29 more cities they're hitting over the next year or so.
That's cool. I like that. And then, what else was this weekend, JHawk? I was going to ask you about something. Nope, that's regular TV wrestling. Forget it. I was thinking of the NXT stuff, but that's not us. So
I didn't see any of it. I didn't watch any. I watched no wrestling at all this weekend.
I only watched ETU at the afterwards. I was out on Saturday, but that's not for us. We figured that out.
Yeah, the only wrestling I did at all this weekend was my 2K stream. So
nice.
Doesn't exist. I guess we can do shout outs.
I do something for an hour. Heaven forbid I do something for a goddamn hour to bring some joy, Butter.
Yes, joy let JHawk have some joy.
Refuse.
Shout outs, yes.
I'm a fucking Browns fan. I need an hour of goddamn joy.
I'm a Jets fan. Did you watch it this weekend? At least you have some hope with Shador. I got nothing. No hope. None.
I saw enough.
You're going to win enough games just to screw your draft pick. And the Jets are going to lose enough, but not win enough, not lose enough to get that first pick. So they stink too.
The best part about the Browns game is I listened to most of it on the radio, and I don't think I've ever heard Nathan Kagura that angry.
Oh yeah,
and he's trying to be the professional. I'm not really angry, but you can tell he's angry. Just how you can just hear him trying to hold the anger back in his voice. It was hilarious.
He's like, "This sucks." Shit.
Shout out.
Shout outs. Bagelmonger. Zach.
Boys.
I'm trying to get you your year-end gift before Christmas, but it's not working so far. So Where's this pen at, by the way? Where did the pen end up?
It's getting here tomorrow. I don't know where it is, but it was not sent.
Do you not have Prime? Are you not a Prime guy?
No.
That's the problem. You gotta have that 2-day shipping.
Yeah. No, I'll get Prime for next time. I honestly I've been using my sister-in-law's Prime Video so I can watch TV. Otherwise.
And of course, Patty.
Hi, Patty.
Hey, Patty.
Oh boy.
What's on this weekend?
All right, this Sunday, I'm actually gonna not do Triller. The Jersey Championship Wrestling Pre-Event Round Ball Rock Sunday at 5 p.m. from the Mecca in Ridgefield Park, and it's gonna air live on YouTube. And this is a very interesting lineup here. The JHawk World Championship on the line in an I Quit match, and it is also a qualifying match for the Jerky J Cup. Billy Stark against Charles Mason.
Yeah. They're doing a J Cup qualifying match from a blood feud on a JCW YouTube show instead of saving that for the actual J Cup tournament for the first round. Makes no sense to me. But you do you, Brett. Go on.
GCW World Tag Team Championship, YDNP against Two Bald Fuck. With a $100,000 match, the loser of the fall leaves town for 90 days. Marcus Mathers, Joey Janela, and Nick Camarado against Hoodfoot, Brian Keith, and Joshua Bishop. That is an eclectic mix of talents in that one.
Yeah.
We've got a no-hold-barred match. Thomas Shire and Tombstone G against Beast Dog, Beastman and Mad Dog Connolly.
Oh, boy.
That is so fucking tea right there. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, boy.
We got a what is being built as a 3-point competition. It's a Jersey J Cup qualifying match. The first 3 fall qualifying. Manny Lowe, Griffin McCoy, One King, Drew Parker, Gary J, Jay Lucas, Teriyaki, and Jake Parnell.
Oh,
War
no.
Horse. The War Horse.
For God's sakes. What is this show? I may have to go to this show.
You should. You should go just because Josh Bishop's on it. First of all.
I'm gonna actually, when I get off this our interview tonight, I'm gonna check my schedule. I don't think there's anything going on, so maybe I will.
Jerky J Cup qualifying match, Darian Bankston against Eli Knight. Jerky J Cup qualifying match, Ryan Clancy against Rich Swan. That should be fun.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And we've got the All-Star Game 10-person tag team match, the KO Getter against Damaged Goods. KO Getter are Dominic Garrini, Janai Kai, Kevin Koo, LeBron Cozone, and Mara Cade. Damaged Goods for Jordan Blade, Josh Goodwood, Matt Mako, Rebecca J. Scott, and Cam Holloway.
I'm making an executive decision. I say we review this show instead of ETU next week.
No offense, ETU. We love you guys. Yeah. This one I think we're going to have to do.
Yeah, hopefully I have enough time to watch the whole thing. I have planned Sunday night, but we'll have to.
I think I have to go. I think I have to go to this. This sounds absolutely ridiculous.
Yes.
Well, here's your favorite match of the night, Jay Gold. Gabby Ford against Lena Croft.
Oh, hell yeah. I have to go to this. I have to go.
Wow.
And then a tag team matchup, Nikki Eketh and Valentina Rocky against the Cosmic Cutie of Ava Everett and LSG. That is Sunday at 5 p.m. on YouTube.
That's so late. That's my only problem. That's not going to get me home till probably 10 o'clock. Oh, Lord. All right, well, I'm going to look into that. I think I might do that.
I can always leave early, too.
Yeah, but if I bring the kid, she hates leaving early. Oh, I'll be in so much trouble. Anyway, all right. Blitzkrieg Pro, Saturday night, December 13th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern. Oh, 2 o'clock Eastern? I guess. Presents Angels with Filthy Souls. And it's Heath is on this card. Heath, Delta Force, and Perry Von Vicious versus Mike Grassa, ECBC, and Stan Michael. Ash Bennett versus Javi, Ali Catch versus Spike, Charles Mason versus Ichiban, and then the Bedlam Championship, Sammy Diaz versus Bobby Orlando versus Andy Brown. And that is at 2 o'clock. All right, 2 o'clock on the Independent Wrestling Television Network. And that's Blitzkrieg Pro, which I don't even, where are they based out of? I don't see it here, even where it's from.
You're gonna make me fucking look shit up. Okay.
Yeah, that's how you help me, JHawk. You're a wealth of knowledge.
Okay. I mean, if the show's in Connecticut, I'm going to assume they're based somewhere in New York, someplace probably. But
is it based in Connecticut? Oh,
The show you just promoted in fucking Connecticut.
Well, I don't see it here. That's why I'm saying it doesn't say it here. That's why.
According to Cage Match, Enfield, Connecticut is where they're based out of.
Oh, then that's okay. So they are a New Mexico. I mean, New England based promotion. Okay.
Yep. And the show is in Enfield, Connecticut.
All right. That's not even that far from me either, but 2:00 in the afternoon is going to put a little damper on working that, going.
So they consider themselves from Western Massachusetts and Connecticut. So
okay.
Now, JGold, you just threw a fit about a show starting at 5:00, and now you're talking about the show starts at 2:00.
No, 2:00 is it's early for me to get up there, and 5:00 is late for me to get home. That's the problem. And that's on a Sunday.
So the show needs to start at like 3:47 p.m. for it to be that perfect time frame for you.
That's correct. If you could start a show for me at about 3:45, maybe 3:30 on a Sunday, I'd be very happy. Even ET 4:00 is fine. They got done by, I think they were done at 6:30, so I think it was like 2.5 hours. But if you can get me out of there before 7, I'd be happy on a Sunday. Saturday, I don't care, but 2:00 is early. Isn't it early, JHawk?
For a Sunday? I don't think so.
No, for Saturday.
For Saturday.
For Saturday, yeah. For Saturday, that is a little early, I think. But.
Yeah. Saturday should be for the evenings. I like a good 8:00 start, 7:00 start on a Saturday night. So, but yeah, all right. So that's good. So that JCW show, I think we're all over. I think we have to be all over that show.
Yeah, that's too.
And Dom's going to be on it too. Dom, we can ask Dom all about it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Interviewing.
All right, this week we have one of the trainers of the AIW Academy. We have the Bone Collector Dominic Garrini with us.
Is where I say hello. Hello, everybody.
Yes.
and we don't even give you the whole one half of the greatest independent wrestling tag team going today. Nothing like that. Just the trainer of AIW this time around.
Well, for intents and purposes, this is about, me being on the podcast is about me being the trainer at the school.
Yes.
Yep.
And the concept for the show, kind of quasi the EVP of talent relations as well. Like, I'm in my Jim Ross era for this one. Can't wait to tell some guys they got to work on their upper body on Friday, and then they'll get in the hunt.
Then you need to tell them a story about Leroy McGurk pointing a gun at Teddy Bianchi in front of the hotel room. But
yes, that is a good one.
Well, so I'm excited that they're doing this again. The original, one of the things we talked about beforehand was the class with like Big Sam and Austin and all those guys. When we had them on for the Fresh Meat Series, we felt that that was a large class too, Dom. They were all, in that Fresh Meat show. You had what'd you have, 7 guys who were wrestling on that show for the first time?
That poster's on my wall here, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 6 in that one. And then Riley Rose debut in that one. Or no, you had Vic. Oh no, it's Vic Vice. So that was like 5. It was either 6 or 7 because it was Tyson Riggs, Shaw Mason, the now Eidolon Black, Vic Vice, Big Sam, and Austin James. So it was 6 in that class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a very solid class that has really lasted. A lot of those guys have lasted the test of time and have really continued on.
I won't bury the lead too much, but I think that's the last great class we've had. I'm not trying to bury the lead on the kind of 2 following that, but I think that is the best class we've had probably since post-COVID. But, hey, there's plenty of time for the other class. And, even speaking of that, the class post that, they're part of the reason why we kind of are in the situation of doing what we now are going to be calling this Cultivate concept.
And why do you say that?
Well, it becomes increasingly harder to book shows and shoehorn every student onto the show and still keep a certain match quality and to keep a certain sector of the fan base excited. Like, as much as I want to reward an Alex Melee for coming to practice and working hard and hitting the road, it's hard when it's either, hey, we have one main card spot and it's either going to go to Mad Dog Conley, who's going to, get some push on the internet, or it's going to go to Alex Melee,
Yeah, that makes sense. What I think what's missing, the big hole has been losing the Winchester, I think. Those Winchester shows were such a great opportunity to see guys get their reps and such.
Even the Winchester is a break from the like concept idea that I have had and that like John has kind of reformed with my ideas into Cultivate. So the Winchesters were great, but the Winchesters were still very main card-esque type talents. Like you always had like I wrestled Wes Barkley on one of those shows. Like you had like the Eric Ryan G Raver match, because like at the time G Raver was like a pretty like big deal. He canceled for all good reasons. But like we had a Joey Janela, like Joey Janela's like quasi leaving the Indies match was there against Alex Shelley. So like our goal was to never have like that kind of like prominent matches per se on Cultivate. The idea is Cultivate will be all students who kind of haven't broken through to that next level on the main card yet, or students that we need that extended look in more than a 6 to 8 minute preview to say, okay, hey, this is what they're doing. Can it get over with a crowd? And obviously as well, it's going to be a chance for people to debut. It's going to be a chance as well then to bring in new talent that we might not have the space for on a main show. And my idea was to always make this price ticket cheaper, like this price point cheaper to get in for the fans. And then the fans are going to have a greater expectation, of, hey, they need to load this card because I'm paying $35 plus fees for this ticket. The cheapest ticket price to get in the door out, like with fees included, is $21.65. I think we figured out. So it's like there's not much better value on a Friday night than 10 plus wrestling matches, in our mind. What
I like about the concept is, when I grew up and started in the wrestling business, like you were easy to get bookings every weekend. Mm-hmm. You had multiple companies that were running multiple types of shows. And right now, maybe if you're getting 2 shows a weekend these days, you're lucky. I mean, the younger guys need the work. With the
current landscape of independent wrestling, yes, you getting 2 shows a weekend now is even more difficult than it was 6 months ago. To be 110% honest with you, streaming has kind of oversaturated the indies to a very gross degree, even down to the point of like your normal social interactions you were getting 2 years ago from a match that was on Trailer or IW TV has completely and totally like gone. It is like you have to be in something absolutely mind-boggling to get those social interactions that we used to get. It's just, I think that while I think the WWE may be hot, or as obviously you're seeing, it's kind of cooling down a little bit, and that I think that wrestling as a whole is a little colder than it's been in a long while.
I feel like it happened out of nowhere too. I felt like it was super hot last year, and now all of a sudden
it's an oversaturation point. Sadly, like I said, it's oversaturated. There's any given weekend you can see 4 shows on IWTV, 2 more on Triller, and guess what? If I don't want to watch the indies, I have wrestling to watch on TV every single day of the week. I have Raw, I have NXT, I have AEW, I have TNA, I have SmackDown, I have Collision. And it makes the going rate to go out and watch independent wrestling or seek independent wrestling a little harder. So, but back to your point, JHawk, this is a talk that Pedro and I have had. It's like his like for development of talent, our argument has been that the Shamrock, well, it might have produced 11 awful matches per show sometimes.
Yeah.
It was a place for guys to go and work different people and get different looks. And as our game plan is not to run these shows, even monthly, we're thinking maybe bi-monthly or quarterly on these. But it's the idea to give our kids the chance to work. It's the idea to bring in other people and see what works and who works,
Dom, let me ask you something real quick. I'm just thinking of this, and since you're so embedded into it, the closing of certain companies, DPW,
Deadlock and Prestige outright.
Yeah, but I'm just saying certain in general, just meaning like a lot of companies, like let's say more companies close. Is it an opportunity for the indies to kind of circle the wagons and maybe protect the business again, or is that ship sailed where they could say, look, I'm not bringing in some just nothing. You're going to have to earn it because there's not as many companies anymore. These guys are going to have to work super hard. Hey, I want to see you promoting on Twitter. I want to see you promoting on Instagram. You're not doing that. I'm not bringing you in, anymore. Do you think that's an opportunity?
Not necessarily. So what I have kind of noticed, and I think maybe some others have noticed, is that everything is going to become hyper regionalized, and a lot of your companies are going to focus on their regional talent to kind of push them through. There's going to be less, and realistically, the impact of AEW felt onto independents is that even though those guys are allowed to work shows, they still get all the best. They still take any hot talent that's coming up, and put them under contract. So it makes it harder to book them. And I think, like I said, either way, the current day Super Indie is dead. Like the PWGs of the world, it's just not going to happen in the current moment because I just don't think that I don't think that the landscape can facilitate it right now because I think that, not that there's lack of talent, but I think that the talent isn't out enough and it's not getting over enough. I talked with Eric Stevens about this, and he said that right now the current independent climate reminds him of like the late 90s and how the indies were in the late 90s, not even in the early 2000s, because at least in the early 2000s you had like a Ring of Honor to like be like, okay, well, that's where we all want to work towards. But like, I just don't know if that independent is out there right now where people are like, I have to work hard to get to there. Idealistically, our hope as a company in AIW is that our kids should be treating this like it is their absolute biggest and most important booking. And I know that sometimes individuals maybe aren't super keen on like an Eric Taylor or a Chuck Stone, but you can't argue that those two guys treat AIW as if it's their marquee booking, Mm-hmm. And, they put the extra work in terms of the videos they do, the entrances they do, all those things to make it feel like AIW is a big deal.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think then that full circles us to this show, because then you're showcasing talent from your school, you're showcasing talent from the area and different guys, and you have an opportunity to kind of keep them regionalized where you can say, this is where you're going to see them. And this is where, those moments are going to happen. It's going to happen here at AIW.
It's like, it's a big argument as to like why I'm a singles in AIW, because that I'm going to be a singles in AIW, and then if you want to watch me in a tag team and my highly successful tag team, you can watch me elsewhere in it,
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. What do you want, JHawk? You want to go over each match? How do we want to introduce this card, Butters?
Well, let's go over the 3 student debuts, and then we'll kind of touch on some other of the matches that have some new talent in it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So first up, let's talk about Zay Garcia against Alonzo Cruz, the debuting Alonzo Cruz.
Yeah, so Alonzo Cruz is probably the one of the more like the highest touted prospects we've had coming out in a few years. I would put it in terms of an internal belief as to like he is the next Sam Holloway. He's got a great look. He's got a great look. He's got a lot of charisma. He's been working hard. He's been training about over a year now. We really think that of all the people, he is going to be kind of the next like big one that we have.
Obviously, I've never seen him work because his debut, but just looking at his promo picture, he just has a star quality about him. Just look at him; he looks like a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, a lot of charisma. Like I said, I think when you hear us talk, we're going to definitely talk him up to be the next big one. And I think that putting him out there against Zay in his first match is, going to be entirely important because Zay is a dangerous wrestler who is very good and is going to bring as much fight as possible into this match. And this is big for a guy like Zay Garcia, a guy who's kind of since, our allegiance ended in AIW lore. He hasn't really found himself back on the main cards. He's had some personal stuff go on, and this is really a chance for him to break back through and kind of show the crowd what he is and what he can be.
So that's what I was going to ask you. What was the decision making? And this goes back to when you guys did the original Fresh Meat and you do stuff like that. What is the decision making as to the matchups? Why do you decide this guy's going to wrestle against this student? Where does that come from?
In full disclosure, it's because I kind of get to see and watch every practice. I have a lot of these guys do practice matches, and I look at the match and I say, well, who is the best? Like, who's having the best match against each other? What is going to be the best debut for these guys, etc.
I always wondered how you guys did that. Okay.
And if you guys have seen Alonzo Cruz before, you've seen him usually running one of the floor cams at the shows. So he's, like I said, he's put his time in, and like I say, he's got a good look. He's got a lot of intensity, and I truly believe that the crowd is going to love him. So we'll see what you guys all think when you see him.
Nice.
All right. Austin James versus Rudy Ray Woods.
Oh, my boy Rudy Ray. Rudy Ray, former Baldwin Wallace football player of all things. You probably wouldn't get that just by looking at him, but another hard worker that is probably truthfully one of the biggest like student turnarounds I've seen in like academy history. Because I would say straight up, like 6 months ago, I would have said, hey, there's no way that kid is going to ever debut. But he just kind of figured it all out, over the course of like a day to two. Like I remember when Josh Prohibition left at the start of the year, from his semester, as I call it, that he taught, we were just really in between on if we thought Rudy was going to be anything. And, we just didn't know. And I remember telling him about a month ago, I said, you'll never believe this. And he was shocked. And like I said, former football player. So there's a tinge of athleticism, but definitely not the fast twitch athleticism that you'd expect out of a former college football player. But as I jokingly say, he's the next up in our NIL class. And when it came to figuring a name out, that was probably the biggest issue. Was we had such a hard time figuring a name out for him. But we figured it out and it all worked out. And I think that Austin James is going to present a unique challenge. I think that even if you don't per se like Austin James, there is no doubt to say that he is a very mechanical in-ring worker who is going to be able to get the best out of somebody making their debut.
I just want to call him Squints.
Call him Squints. That's kind of what we go for here. Like, if you call him Squints, if you were to call him like anything like that, that'd be great. You called him Great Hambino, I'd be happy.
I like Austin James a lot, and I think out of that class too, he's another one who's come a long way. He does a lot of things a guy his size you're surprised that he does. So I'm wondering how this match is going to go as far as pacing wise. If we're going to see him kind of slow it down a tad.
Yeah, I mean it should be good. It should be interesting. And like I said, this was one match that when we were putting this card together, I said this is the match I think we need to do more than anything. So.
Well, then I'm sold on that one. I want to see. I'm curious to see how those styles are going to mesh together. So I'm going to trust you on that one, Dom.
Up next, we have Vic Weiss versus the debuting Jesse Blair.
Jesse is another one who really had an unbelievably quick turnaround when it came to like being like, man, does this person get it? And I think that overall it clicked for her one day, and I always knew it would, because if you know Jessie as a person, she's probably one of the like 3 people who actually knows what goes into being a professional wrestler. She's like a massive Joshi fan, so she's always like studying Joshi and always loved Joshi. So it's one of those things that I was very happy when she finally figured it all out. And more than anything, this match is happening because I watched this match happen as a practice match, and I thought it was really good. So I thought this would be one of the best chances for her to get out in front of our crowd on the right foot.
And if you listen to the show for all the years, if you stayed on IW Guide, the other JB, that is Jessie. So if you want to go out and see her, the other JB is going to be wrestling against Vic Weiss.
Who has her fans as the Bone Soldiers.
The Bone Soldiers.
I think that's, yeah. Well, amazing the full circle.
Okay. Next we have Pagasa against MJ Santana.
This is more of a, Pagasa has been around and she's been helping quite a bit. She's been promoting the brand. So when the idea was to put new talent forth into the kind of like lexicon of AIW, you've got somebody who's there. So why not give it a shot, And MJ Santana has been around as well. So it's one of those things where we got to make that call and we got to go ahead and go for it.
Is MJ an Ohio girl too?
If you did not know, MJ is actually engaged to Shimbashi.
Yes, that was discussed on his episode, Josh. I know you don't remember, but
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for that one.
You were. Are you sure you weren't there for Shimbashi?
No, I wasn't there for Shimbashi. I missed it.
No, but I like MJ Santana a lot. I've seen her a few times. She's fantastic.
Yes.
Paycock got a great up guide. I agree. I think it could be a hell of a match.
All I know is Shimbashi was very highly accepted in the ETU show the other day. The fans seemed to love him. So he got a very big pop over there for his 4-way.
It's one of those things, easy to chant name, helps you out a lot.
Yeah.
Members only versus Country Air.
So this match actually happened before in AIW. It happened at one of the ill-fated Wadsworth shows. I should say ill-fated. Those were good actual little bits for us. But this happened at a show I wasn't even at because I was doing extra work for AEW that day. We saw Country Air. John saw Country Air actually at a Black Label show of all things that he helped during COVID to like agent, and he found two sets of talent that he liked. Number one was Dex Royal, who he used for quite a while there, and then the other set that he liked, he loved Country Air. With every fiber of his being, loved Country Air. So we wanted to book Country Air a bunch, and Country Air honestly would have had a much bigger role in the AIW tag division over the last couple of years. But Doc, the smaller guy in the team, he tore his ACL like right as we were getting ready to book them quite a bit. So this is like he just came back, I want to say maybe like 3-4 months ago. So this was really our chance to kind of get them back and get them in. And then Zach Hendricks, the other gentleman, he's been doing a lot of singles stuff, but we really have a big affinity for them. And you guys haven't seen members only in a while. I know that, they've been going through some stuff. I know Malcolm's had some injuries. I know Calvin's had just a bunch of other stuff going on. And I think that our thought process was, let's get them out here to, get them reintroduced to everybody. And, I know Thor and I had a really good talk with them a couple weeks ago at the training center about this kind of not quasi being a re-debut, but like a reminder to the AIW crowd of who they are and what they can do.
And it's important, Dom. I think the tag team's division's a little thin right now. So to have two new tag teams or two tag teams that people like coming in and wrestling each other and showing off a bit, and then knowing you can put those into your roster is a much bigger deal to have some more challengers for PME and for everyone else, and for Derek and Man Bear Pig Kid. I mean, yeah,
overall for sure. Like Man Bear Pig Kid. I mean, there's little doubt in my mind that we need more tag teams. That's been a big thing. And I think that this is going to be a good chance to kind of get that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Danny O'Ryan versus Shimbashi.
Yeah. This is one that I put together. I saw Danny actually wrestle at a Deadlock show in Texas. Actually, of all things, it was the show where Jake Something got hurt. And it was a show where Jake Something got hurt, and they needed somebody just to kind of wrestle Calvin really quickly. And Danny stepped up, and he introduced himself to me, and I kind of always knew he was going to be one of the first ones to hit me up when it came to the idea of opening new talent initiative quasi open up, called me Paul Buchanan, I guess. Because I'm going to read the emails. John's just going to forward them to me, which is fine. But I digress. Danny is very talented. He's a New Texas kid. That's where he's kind of made his name. And I know he's been doing a lot more bigger indies in terms of like West Coast Pro and some stuff like that. So I think he's just looking for an opportunity. And him and Shimbashi kind of came up on the scene together in Texas. So I felt that when he hit me up, I said, let's let him put his best foot forward and let's give him Shimbashi.
And they've wrestled against each other, New Tech and Pro before too, because they're familiar with each other.
I feel like Shimbashi really is. I said it before. I think he's really starting to get some footing. So that's
back out. Yeah. That haircut is not the move.
His new haircut.
Yeah, I agree. I like the longer hair on him. As well. Just
if he grows some hair, I need some hair on him. I'm sure if he listens to this, he'll laugh at me on Friday, but
Well, this advertisement is false advertising then, because we got the long-haired Shimbashi in the graphic.
Well, if I could grow the long hair back, I'd tell him that.
What's the dream graphic? Okay, on the Freeview, the YouTube Freeview Scramble. This has got a bunch of debuts.
There are two pullouts on this that we have replaced with. So
okay.
Go ahead.
First, we have Sammy Diaz. I'll go one by one, and you can tell me about them. Sammy Diaz, first up.
Sammy Diaz, if you are familiar with the IWTV award-winning show Wrestling Open, Sammy is a big proponent on Wrestling Open. And to be 100% honest with you, one person that really saved Sammy Diaz and got him on this show was Hardaway Holloway. Hardaway wrestled him at a Wrestling Open and said how great of a time he had working with him and said he'd be an awesome addition. So when I got the offer to put him into the carload coming from that area, I jumped at it.
Hell yeah. Reese Maddox.
Reese Maddox, friend of the show, Jason Ayers. If you did not know, that is his father. So I got the chance to work with Reese at Black Label Pro recently, and I got to sit down with Jason, his dad, and we talked, and he was like, what do you have to do to get Reese into AIW? And I said, well, funny enough, I said, I actually have an opportunity for him. I said, let me confirm some stuff and let me get back to you. So Reese was actually the first outside talent I booked for the show once I knew it was a go and we were going to do some stuff. But I worked him. I enjoyed him. He is working as much as humanly possible. He works out a lot down in Orlando with flatbacks. So I know that he's well trained. He's going to do very well. So he was, like I said, quasi number one draft pick for me when we had this option. And also, I talk a lot about I want people that want it. And Reese is going to drive from Orlando to Cleveland to then drive back to Orlando right after.
Wow.
Attaboy, Reese. That is excellent. Attaboy.
Yeah, that definitely hit Dad influence.
I say Dad's
off on him.
Taking his dad's footsteps for sure.
Yeah.
Patrick Saint.
Patrick Saint has pulled out, sadly.
Okay.
He had a health concern, so if we get a chance to work him back in later, we will. I will announce one of his replacement. Making a return, actually, to AIW is Uncle Chase Burnett.
Oh, yeah. Uncle Chase. All right.
I love Uncle Chase.
Uncle Chase is back, and Uncle Chase is a guy that it's another one. That's what the show is about. It's, Uncle Chase has been around forever, even though he's really young. Wink, wink, nod, nod. He's been around forever. He is a great guy to work, and I'll be real with you. Guys got some of those creative high spots around, so the idea of this show being a high action show is a big, boost into that. So
Backyard legend, man. I've been watching some of his old backyard stuff. Oh my God.
Zane Silver's been making a comeback too, so we've maybe talked about trying to book Zane Silver and Uncle Chase together.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Up next, Kid Kuda.
So Kid Kuda is actually a training partner and a ride along of our good friend Reese Maddox. So he is going to be riding that long trek with him. He was also on that Black Label show where I wrestled with Reese. He was in a pre-show scramble with, I think, Zay Garcia and Tyler Jordan. I thought he looked pretty good in it. So when the opportunity and the offer came out to put him in the car with Reese, I jumped at it. I said, okay, give me Reese and Kuda for sure. So we made that happen, and that's where we're at.
Bruce Hamilton.
Sadly, to young Edward and his his fandom, Bruce Hamilton had to pull out. He had another commitment that he had forgotten about, so he's going to honor that commitment. And I was very happy. I'm very much with a guy that's willing to give me prior warning that he screwed up, and he admitted that to me that he did screw up. So we are replacing him with somebody we wanted to book on the show, couldn't do it. And then his Friday opened back up, and I didn't have a spot for him, but now I have a spot for him. And he was one of my top 3 draft picks from the emails I got. My favorite name, Seabass Finn.
Oh, Seabass.
Yes.
I saw him at an ETU show recently. Yes. Excellent.
Seabass is awesome. A great amateur wrestler. Has spent some time out at New Japan Dojo. I know he's good. So I was super excited that he wanted to do the show. We did not have a spot for him. Well, we had a spot for him that actually wasn't a scramble spot. He couldn't do it, so we axed that match. And when we noticed we had 10 matches on the show, we were like, okay, I can't add a match just because Seabass wants on. So it was like, okay. And then when I got the message from Bruss, I hit Seabass up right away. I said, hey, man, are you still open? And, he made travel arrangements to come on out. So
hell yeah.
He's a gamer. He wrestled at Creative Pro also in September.
Yep. Yeah,
I've seen him around the East Coast a bit, so that's excellent.
Big fan. Actually, if you could do us a favor, you guys that are in attendance, if you could get a kick his ass Seabass chant going, I would greatly appreciate that.
Up next, Ichiban.
Number one.
Funny, no pun intended, the number one draft pick of the talent that emailed me. I have wrestled Ichiban. I wrestled him and Diego Hill in a tag team match at Deadlock in Chicago. I've known Ichiban for years, since him and Miracle Gen came up together. An amazing talent, was once signed to MLW, so we share that in common. But an unbelievable, just all-around wrestler, amazing talent. And when I, explained to him the point of, hey, you're not going to hey, this is how this show works on a pay scale, he was more than okay to say, I just want the reps and I want to get out there. And I said, okay, you're my, pun intended, you're my number one here, buddy.
I bet he loved that.
So then we have a 4-way, Chase Oliver, Tommy Rain, Shelby Wilder, and Connor Hopkins.
I will take the time to speak about young Mr. Connor Hopkins before, as you guys know, the other three. But this is a good chance, too, for Chase to kind of, once again, get his sea legs underneath of him. Obviously, the Youngstown show a couple months ago was his first match back in, over a year. So we're going to, try to not put him into, high-impact singles matches right away. And a 4-way is able to take kind of it's kind of able to keep slowly bringing him along and bringing him back. So there's that. And then, of course, Tommy Rain has been getting more in the mix, and he's another guy that it's just it's very difficult to put him on a main show and a non-Youngstown show. So this is the chance for him to go out in Lakewood and really kind of show us what he can do and show the crowd what he can do. Mm-hmm. Shelby, you don't need me to talk about Shelby.
I feel like Tommy Rain has been trying to reinvent himself a few different ways.
He definitely has. He's definitely not Tommy Caldine anymore. He's a fully different character. He's got brand new gear. He's definitely kind of leaning into kind of his diva era, as I would jokingly say. Mm-hmm. But he's been working hard, and I think that it's a good chance. Like I said, this is what the show is about. It's to give these individuals, opportunities that maybe we don't have for them elsewhere. Oh, Connor Hopkins! Holy shit! I almost so I met Connor at Time Bomb of all places, and he had a really good feud with Badger over there, and he's got a very similar wrestling taste to me. He loves the mid 2000s indies. We talked all the time about Ring of Honor, talked about old IWA Mid-South, all that stuff. So, we're two peas in a pod in that. And realistically, what got Connor booked for this show and, got him into Thorne's eyes was he messaged me, I want to say in June, and was like, hey, man, do you guys have anything coming up that I can come and help out at that I could end up, working my way towards a booking? And I said, I can tell you right now that I couldn't get you booked on the Roxy shows, and I probably can't get you booked. I definitely can't get you booked on the Globe Iron. I said, but what I will say is we have this show. It's called the North Canton Street Festival. I said, we do about 4 shows. It's outside in the middle of August. I said, I probably can't pay you really any money. I said, but if you come, I said, you're going to get a chance to wrestle in front of Thorne. I said, you're going to get a chance to, put your right foot forward. And he drove 7.5 hours from LaSalle, Illinois. He stayed at my apartment because I said, hey, I'll let you stay with me. And then he drove back on Sunday after the show. He worked, I think, 2 times and, made a really good impression on Thorne. And he was another one that I said, hey, we have this idea and this concept. If the concept comes through, I'm going to book you. And he was probably, I reached out to Rice first and I reached out to Connor second before I opened up the email inquiries. I knew that those 2 were 2 guys that I was going to use for this. So that is Connor.
The guy that's been absent for quite a while is showing up again. Shaw Mason.
Yeah. So Shaw Mason, post our feud and post getting the title shot against Eric Taylor in January, had a lot of life stuff come in. He was getting married. He was doing some other things, and he didn't really have the proper time to dedicate to professional wrestling. And I even had to talk with him, and I was like, hey man, I need you to put some effort in, or we really can't continue to focus on you. And he said, right now I don't have the time. And he goes, and I agree with you that it's not fair for me to take this spot away from somebody else. So the idea came out, we came out with Cultivate, and about a month or about 2 weeks before we really told everybody about it, Shaw had hit Thorne and I up the exact same day about it. And we're like, okay, this is the perfect place to kind of reinvent him and bring him back. And we thought putting him up against Melee, who has been working really his ass off in training, and I know he's been heading to a lot of places. He's been the wheelman for a lot of individuals that have been getting out on the East Coast and out in the Midwest. So I wanted to give Melee a singles match here, and I wanted to give Shaw a singles match here to really showcase what they got. And I think that, they are looking forward to showing what they've got.
Right on. And I don't think we really need to talk about the main event, but I guess we can.
It's to me, does anybody remember, and I'm big JGold, you'll remember, does anybody remember back when they used to do those NXT house shows, when they would do the Columbus loop or the Cleveland loop, and they would include a main roster guy or two. Actually, if the most recent NXT house show was like proof of it, like where you include the main roster guys to kind of push the ticket sales and maybe if you have a chance to further a feud that you're doing. And that's what we're doing here. Obviously, you've got, Chuck Stone and Harvey Holloway, who are going to be the main event at Malice in the Palace, for the AIW Absolute title. So, how do you get there as opposed to just being cold and going off of what we had at the end of the show last week? We're going to go ahead and we're going to give them a chance to tangle a little bit before, before Christmas. So hopefully, they both stay in one piece. And from there, we'll go out and at the Royal Palace, our debut there on 12/27, we will hopefully not have a malice between Papa Stone and Harvey Holloway.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. You got to have that one top of the card main event. And you know what? It's good. It's smart to do that with, you could have fans who could get frustrated with seeing students but the way these students have been trained, even with the original Fresh Meat that I remember watching, I always thought everybody did such a good job that, the main event kind of is just like a cherry on top for some of those fans, especially for the ones who are diehard. Yeah,
I mean, wholesale, the way we've debuted kids over the course of the last, probably post-COVID, has been so different from the way we used to do it before. So for like JHawk, who I know has been a long time follower, we used to have a very specific way to debut kids. It was the scrambles. We used to put together either a four-way or a scramble that could be practiced ad nauseum, and every kink worked out. And that is why those initial debut scrambles and four-ways were so good, because those matches had probably been run 60 times before. Like, it's the reason why people think NXT matches are good. It's because they get a chance to practice it every day at the PC. So it was very similar. That was our old way. And I'm not saying that we thought it was a bad way, because it was a good way to get people over quick. And heck, that's part of what helped me get over quick. But we figured out that working a veteran heel type opponent in a debut setting could be better for these individuals. And I think that's what you're going to see Friday in the 3 debuts. You have each of those individuals that is working somebody, they are working a 2 to 3 year veteran at minimum. And we'll go from there. And hopefully, as always, our goal, John and I will say this, our goal is to give everybody enough rope to hang themselves. And it's going to be their choice to know if their feet touch the floor or if they strangle themselves,
I like that. That sounds very dire. So listen, for you students who are listening tonight, yes.
It 100% is.
Yep.
I hate to say it, but you only get one chance to make a good first impression. So either you're going to make a great first impression or you're not. And I'm going to be real with you. Coming back from a bad first impression is brutal. I have only seen a few people ever do it. And even like the Tyson Riggs of the world, who, he wrestled against me in his first match and was fine, but all of his other first impressions post our match were not good to people. And it took him a couple of years to literally reinvent himself and to get where he is, So it's important, it's very important for the first impression to be good.
Yeah, it took him definitely a long time, and we kind of were disappointed when he said no to us to do the show. All the other students in his class did, and I think now's the time that, since he's red hot, he needs to change some gear up and get look a little like Derek. That's what I think.
He's a weird cat. He needs a line. He needs someone to feed him his lines, I hear.
Well, yeah, but I think he needs to come on, and I think I'd love to see him in some matching gear with Derek, so they don't look so mismatched as a tag team.
Me too.
Yeah, that's a.
But I think that there is they are such a hodgepodge team that there is a slight charm to them not having the same gear.
Yeah, it does. It does reminisce of mid 2010s like WWE Tag Champs, where they put together just 2 people on there. So
that's a terrible time, Josh.
Yeah.
This is Rene Dupree and Kenzo Suzuki right now. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's
Jesus.
it right there. That's it, Dom. That's
awful.
It. I know nobody. It was not awful. It was good. It was fun.
That was a dire time. Like, please God, don't.
That was fun.
The only good thing about that was they had a really sick RVD Rey Mysterio tag team, and it also actually bred one of the more like random teams that was super mechanically good in the ring. There was a Hardcore Holly Charlie Haas tag team that was actually super good.
I'm not gonna argue with that. I agree with you totally. And that type of feel though of just like ridiculousness put together and it works is what I like.
It's called the Cosmic Cowboys, my friend. We did it. Actually,
their personalities are both just as weird. I think it works. That's why it works so nicely. But yeah,
I kind of like that team for a lot of reasons, kind of like the Cultivate concept. You got Paul London, who's that veteran who can kind of help lead Shelby along and teach Shelby and going along. And I think that's what I like about the way you're debuting the new people. If they're getting, okay, maybe they're 2 or 3 year veterans, but they're learning from people who have been in there, who have that kind of how to run how to work a match, how to work in front of a crowd.
And that's the idea as to why the fresh meat idea kind of won out over doing the idea of the scrambles. Like, yes, well, we can do the scramble where these guys are awesome. The rubber meets the road at a point, and now they have to work singles, and they can't just only do 3 spots in the match that they practice perfectly. There becomes a proponent of working at that point.
Dom, did I not see this, or am I making this up? But is there a referee also debuting?
Yes, yeah. How can you forget? So Ben Himes also possibly could do twin magic with Arthur MacArthur. Down to the point of like they have so many of the same idiosyncrasies. But yeah, so Ben is an interesting is an interesting one. So Ben trained for a while. You've probably once again seen him running a camera or doing something at the shows. And then around March of this year, he just disappeared. And I mean disappeared. Like, didn't say, hey, I'm missing a couple weeks. Didn't say anything. And he was gone for about a month. And Thorne pulled me aside and was like, hey, whatever happened to fake Arthur or Big Ben? And I was like, dude, I don't even know. So I messaged him. And he told me, he's like, hey, man, I just don't think wrestling's for me. And I'm going to quit. And if that's okay. And I was like, hey, man, I said, that's up to you. I said, if you ever decide that this is something you want to do, I said, the door's open. I said, reach out to me. So about a month passes and I get a DM from him, or a couple months pass actually. I get a DM from him and he says, hey man, he said, I still don't think wrestling is for me. He goes, but I can't help but think that there's unfinished business for me and all the time and effort and my love of wrestling. He goes, so I was thinking about becoming a referee. What do you think? And I said, well, I said, there's a very real pathway of that. I said, if you look at like a Charles Van, I said, he quickly figured out after about 6 weeks that wrestling wasn't going to be for him, but loved wrestling enough that he wanted to ref. And I said, okay. So the process I always have is I want whoever wants to be a ref to train at least around 6 months, just so they can learn how to bump in case they need to take ref bumps. I want them to know match structure. I want them to know ring position, because those are all such important things for referees. After 6 months, I will pull you from doing like active training that's not like more than rolls and like maybe like a couple bumps. But like I'm not going to have you run the international. I'm not going to have you do stuff like that. I will pull you from that stuff and I will say, okay, now we're running training matches. I want you to ref. And I'll have somebody record those matches and I'll have them send them to Clemens. And then I will tell that person who wants to be a ref, you need to pull Clemens outside of every show and talk to him. I said, anything he needs you to do at the shows, I want you to do for him. And that's kind of the process. So he, stepped up from that. And, he was still friends with all the guys in the class. So I think to him, it was like, hey, I need to make a debut here and I want to do something. And this is my something. So I'm really happy to have Ben as, part of the crew. And, he gets to make his debut on Friday as well.
How many matches are you going to have him do?
I think we only have 2 refs on Friday because Clemens and I are going to be the producers on the show for the most part. We're going to try to give John as much carte blanche as he can and not actually have to work and just kind of be around. So I think that it's going to be a 50-50 split between Tom Dunn and Big Ben.
Charles isn't going to do any of that?
Charles is a new father, so I think he's trying to navigate fatherhood. Him and Dr. Dan together.
That's amazing. New fathers. That's what happens. Well, I mean, the show itself sounds. I'm looking for. Are you guys going to stream it?
As far as I know, it will be streamed. But please, God, buy tickets, because I will tell you, as I told everybody this: if this concept works, this is John Thorne's idea. It was always his idea, and that's the reason why I was discussing. If this thing fails, I'm going right under the bus, and he will fucking say, "This is Dom's fault. He's been telling me to do the show for 2+ years, and we only sold 100 tickets, and it's his fault." So please buy tickets. Please come as well. Everybody talks about wanting to support the local scene. They talk about wanting to support independent wrestling, supporting those people. This is the number one way to do it. We made the prices of the show friendly to come and just hang out. What better, like I said earlier, $21.65 is the with fees pricing. So you will not spend more than $21.65 because guess what? First and second row are sold out. We're only doing 2 reserve rows. Everything else is GA. So the tickets are $21.65. That is the cost of whatever your Uber Eats order is going to be tomorrow. So please eat a sandwich, and come to the show on Friday. Support these young individuals that are making their debuts, because for those of you that think maybe this is the show I skip, it's the holiday season, don't do that, because you guys see all these individuals, these young wrestlers taking your tickets for the meet and greet, running the hard cameras, sweeping the ring up in between matches. Come and show them the love you showed all of us when we all did that stuff. We need a big crowd there. We need a vocal base. Plus, I want the ability to book people that you guys don't get to see in Cleveland very often. You know, the Ichibans of the world, the Seabass Finns of the world, the Connor Hopkins of the world, the Rice Maddoxes of the world. I will not have that opportunity if we do not have these shows.
Right. If you get tired of complaining about seeing people on certain shows, now you get to see a whole new crop of people. And you'll get an opportunity to see people like Ichiban, like Reese Maddox, who might be a star in 10 years. You never know. There's a lot of people on there that you should want to go see and follow. So definitely everybody buy tickets.
And John put a post about it today. Our goal for this show is an action-packed show that doesn't have a lot of bullshit in between it. Like, our goal for this show is, like, for everything that I've talked about, to me, like, our goal is to do like a black and gold NXT type of show here, like a takeover type show where it's like 10 very good matches that are action packed and kick ass.
I mean, that's pretty much all you need to say. I think you need to go buy tickets, and unfortunately not being over there is killing me. I'd love to be there for this, but I think everyone else in the Ohio area should go and watch this. And the venue's cool as hell, and you get a chance to hang out. And you know what? It's Friday night. You might as well go. It's a lot of fun. And these guys are going to work hard. So that's our push for Friday. Dom, you got any more plugs or anything you want to throw out there too?
I mean, besides, if you don't buy tickets to this one, please buy tickets for December 27th, Malice at the Palace, our return to Akron, a new venue, the Royal Palace. John and I went and toured the Royal Palace about 3 months ago. It's an interesting venue. I would compare it a little bit to the Roxy, but I think it goes a little deeper in terms of where it is. There is a lot of free street parking around it. I know it's 2 days after Christmas, but we finally got one of the white whales of John Thorne's booking tenure in Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler. His match has already been announced. He's going to wrestle Wes Barkley. So I'm excited about that one. If you guys did not know, that is Wes Barkley's dream opponent. And that's one of the cool things I think that we always get to afford to do here at AIW is give dream opponents. And I sit here looking at my wall with a picture of, or a poster of Kenta and I wrestling. I've been blessed with the chance to wrestle so many dream type matches that I'm so happy to get to witness a guy like Wes get to wrestle one of his dream matches. And we've had a lot of other people get to wrestle dream matches. And that's, something we're facilitating, hopefully here. I've got obviously JCW on Sunday, so you guys check that out. I believe that's free on YouTube, the KO Getters, because we have a kind of a classic Survivor Series tag team style match. Let me see if I can do everybody in the match. Oh my God, it is myself and Ku, Mara Sade. Let's see if I can remember who else on my team. Janai Kai. There we go. So that puts us at 4. Oh my God, who's our 5th? Oh, how can I forget my good friend, Mr. LeBron Cozone.
That's right. It's a sick. Actually, it's a really sick team.
Who was actually almost my Hell on Earth opponent, but we could not work out. He had already had a WrestleCade date that day, so I was him as a replacement. I tried very hard, but I think that we're going to try to get Cozone in at some point next year.
That'd be great. He is a hell of a talent.
Who are we wrestling? Let's see if I can remember off the top of my head. I know the Matt Makowski. I will not refer to him by his dead name, or I refer to him by his dead name, not his new name. I hate his new name.
Yeah.
Right to his face. Josh the Goods Woods. Let's see. Jordan Blade. Yeah. Jordan Blade, Rebecca J. Scott, and then my good friend, who will not be my good friend on Sunday when he's trying to kick me in the face and chokeslam me, but Sam Hardaway Holloway.
You got it.
Josh Woods was in AEW, wasn't he, for a bit?
Still in AEW. He just wrestled Eddie Kingston in a Final Battle last Friday.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Dom wrestled him in ROH.
I remember that.
I was there for that match. Yeah.
Yes. So that's that. I know I've got some stuff at the start of next year. I know that we are looking to fill, Ku and I are looking to fill some of next year already. And I know we have some limited availability. So if you are a promoter that listens to this show and wants to book us, please let us know. Please hit me up. All of my socials have open DMings. Otherwise, I'm looking to kind of finish another strong year off here. It's been a good year, and it's been a good year in terms of AIW success, in terms of success for myself. Even if some weird independent wrestling tag team list said I was the 29th best tag team in the world, I think that or 29th best tag team on the Indies, that was a crazy list. But
I think you and Koo should come kill the Shooter Boys at Creative Pro. That's what I think. Then I can have you in Long Island.
Yeah, I like that. Actually, I forgot about a big show that I'm doing on January 18th. That is actually very, very special to me. I'm on the JHawk Tribute show. His wife, Kathy, hit me and Kevin up while we were in Germany and said that she felt we needed to be on the show as we were part of JHawk's last real feud and beyond. I loved my time with JHawk. I got to do a lot of traveling with JHawk on the road at Evolve. So his passing was brutal. So when she hit me up to ask me to do the show, I said, I didn't even take a second to think, and I said, absolutely, I'll be there. So that's going to be in Kissimmee, aka Orlando. So it might help that I can, maybe make a trip to a theme park or two around it as well. But I'm really excited. And however, you can support that show and support Kathy, his widow, please go ahead and do that.
JHawk is a Long Island guy too. I mean, a Queens guy too, right? Or one of the 5 boroughs?
Yes. He came up with Santana and Ortiz. It was those two, Dickinson and Pinky, they were Pazuzu. And, JHawk is a guy that probably came along just a little bit in the weird times. If you watch, he has an amazing feud with Zack Sabre Jr. in Evolve. And man, he was awesome. Like that Evolve run he had was amazing. So, met him already. He was a great guy. That last time we were a part of like his comeback at Beyond, and it was like a lights out gimmick, and it was so fucking cool. Like just the whole thing was so cool. So miss him.
Make sure everybody checks that out. If it's going to be streaming or somewhere, whatever you can do to donate.
It is going to be streaming, and there's a lot of talent on it. Like a lot of people obviously are wanting to, go out and, pay our respects to JHawk. So I actually have heard, and I'll tell you what our match is off air. I don't want to very lead on it, but I'll tell you guys off air what it's supposed to be.
Okay. JHawk.
I got nothing wrestling like till the end of the year. I try to take December off whenever I get a chance, but you can follow me on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Blue Sky at Ref JHawk, Instagram JHawk1539. Follow me on Twitch. I am streaming WWE 2K25 in an era of wrestling that Butters can't duck and get. Go.
Charlie_Butters on Twitter. I have Series 3 cards on me. If you want a pack, I will be at AIW on Friday. But please buy merch from all the new talent. I know that Jesse's going to have shirts, so that's what my money's going on. Show them some love.
Can I also, if you guys are there and you guys are supporting us, also support the drive-ins. Like these guys that are coming from forever and a day away, they all agreed to come in at a discounted rate just to be seen. So if they sell merch, a big part of what the money that they're going to bring home is going to be that merch. So like if you see Ichiban, he's got a number 1 shirt, go ahead and grab one of those from him. If Connor Hopkins is selling whatever merch he's got, buy something from him, buy merch from these folks, because in general, if you guys are at a show and you guys have the funds, please buy merch from us, as that is the quickest way right into our pockets.
Dom, if I see you on Sunday, I'm going to bring you a Series 3 JGold card signed by me. You can have it for your collection.
Buy 2 of them.
Please rate.
That joke, that's too mean.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, listen, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JGold12. Rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to us. And our Twitter handle, IWGuide1, Blue Sky IW Guide, YouTube.com, IW Guide, and Patreon.com/IW Guide. Don't forget about the merch store over at Brainbuster Tees. Our friend Will at Gorilla Press Apparel. We are part of the Main Event Wrestling Network. Wrestling Junkies on the Mark Wrestling Podcast, Tino's Time, Blog World Order, and my show, the NXT Night Shift, Tuesday nights at 10:15. Check out At Odds with Wrestling. The card is going to change. The super fantastic podcast. And our friends Marks with Mikes. Check out our other friends, Monsters in the Toy Box, Toy Hio, Rubber City Toys, Neo Pro Wrestling, OKCR Creations, Stash Pages, and Pally's Beef Jerky by our friend Kaplan. Dom, thanks again for coming. That's all I got, Butters.
Life's short. Support indie wrestling.
Don't forget to review and subscribe wherever you listen to us. Find us online at Facebook and Instagram at the Indie Wrestling Guide, and on X or Twitter at IW Guide 1.